The world woke up to a crisis. As dawn broke, uncertainty hung in the air, and millions sensed that something extraordinary was unfolding. News alerts blared. U.S. carrier confronts Venezuelan jets. The headlines were urgent, the tone unmistakably grave. Social media erupted with panic and speculation. Rumors spread faster than facts, fueling anxiety in every corner of the globe. The story dominated headlines from Tokyo to Berlin, uniting the world in collective suspense as updates poured in from every continent. In Washington, the Pentagon and White House scrambled for answers, racing against time to understand the rapidly evolving situation. In Caracas, state media called it a defense of sovereignty, blaming U.S. aggression and rallying citizens to stand firm. Two narratives, two realities. No one knew what was truly happening. Confusion reigned as the world tried to make sense of conflicting reports. The fog of information was thick and the stakes impossibly high. Every new detail seemed to raise more questions than answers. The world watched, breath held, as leaders faced a test of judgment. Decisions made in these tense hours would shape history. This is the story of December 13th, 2025, a day that would be remembered for its uncertainty and its drama. Beyond headlines and politics, it's about the men and women at the heart of the storm, carrying out their duties under immense pressure. The professionals who stood between peace and war, making split-second decisions that could change the course of events. In an age of instant news and automated conflict, their actions proved human judgment is still our greatest asset, reminding us that technology alone cannot decide our fate. This is the inside story of the day the world almost changed forever, when every moment counted and every choice mattered, and the disciplined few who ensured it didn't. Let's begin this journey into a day that tested the limits of courage and resolve. The USS Gerald R. Ford, more than just a ship. It's a floating city powered by twin nuclear reactors, a marvel of modern engineering and the pride of the U.S. Navy. Stretching over 1,100 feet, it's a fortress at sea, bristling with technology and capability. Over 4,500 sailors and aviators called this vessel home as they patrolled the turquoise waters of the Caribbean, projecting stability and American presence far from home shores. Each day, their mission was clear: maintain peace, deter threats, and stand ready for anything. The day began before sunrise, with the hum of powerful machinery, the sharp scent of jet fuel in the air, and the coordinated dance of sailors on the flight deck. Every movement was practiced, every task essential, as jets were fueled, armed, and readied for flight. Captain Eva Rostiva, a calm and respected leader, commanded from the Combat Direction Center, her eyes always on the bigger picture. Her steady hand guided the ship through routine and crisis alike. Her crew, a cross-section of America, men and women from every background, worked with singular purpose: to deter conflict, not seek it. Their unity was their strength, forged by shared duty and trust. In the CDC, sailors monitored air and sea traffic, each a specialist in a vast, complex puzzle. Their vigilance kept the ship safe, their expertise honed by endless hours of training and real-world experience. Drills and simulations had prepared them for anything, from fire to attack, from medical emergencies to mechanical failures. Every scenario was rehearsed until it became second nature. The mood was focused, not tense. Laughter echoed in the mess. Friendships forged over meals, while in the hangars, mechanics worked with quiet diligence, keeping the ship's air wing ready for action. Normalcy was the goal, achieved through discipline and readiness. Every inspection, every checklist, every routine was a step toward that fragile sense of order. The crew knew the geopolitical risks that came with their mission, but they stayed focused on their jobs, trusting each other and their training to see them through. They were a shield, strongest when calm and steady, their resolve unshaken even as the world outside grew unpredictable. On this day, that shield would be tested. An unexpected event would challenge their training and unity. The ship's heartbeat was steady, a constant in a world of uncertainty, but the seas around them hinted at coming storms, both literal and metaphorical. Every action, every decision would matter. The crew was ready, alert, and determined. The test was coming, and they would face it together. And it would arrive without warning, demanding everything they had learned, every ounce of their courage and discipline. Trouble began as a blip on radar. Two fast-moving contacts appeared, inbound from Venezuela. Their speed and formation marked them as military jets, F-16s, armed and silent. The CDC's focus sharpened, the chain of command moved quickly. Captain Rostiva watched as the jets closed in, ignoring radio calls. Was this a drill, a probe, or something worse? The Venezuelan jets' silence was an aggressive signal. The crew's training kicked in. This was the scenario they'd rehearsed. The rulebook was clear. Unidentified, potentially hostile aircraft must be intercepted. Captain Rostiva gave the order. Scramble 2, we need eyes on them. The clock started ticking. Every second mattered. The ship's calm was replaced by focused urgency. The next move would shape everything. The intercept was on. The world's attention narrowed to a single point in the Caribbean. The test of nerves had begun. The stakes could not be higher. The scramble order echoed across the ship. 2 F-A-18 Super Hornets, already on alert, were chosen for intercept. Pilots Viper and Jester sprinted to their jets. No questions, just action. The flight deck erupted in controlled chaos. Crews prepped, catapults armed, engines roared. In minutes the jets were launched skyward, arrows against the blue. The process was a display of speed and precision, 4 minutes from order to airborne. Below, the ship braced for escalation. In the CDC, all eyes tracked the blue icons, racing toward the red. Viper and Jester, calm and professional, became the tip of the spear. Their voices crackled over the radio, confirming intercept. The confrontation was set, thousands of feet above the ocean. The world held its breath. The next moments would decide peace or war. The dance was about to begin. The sky was now the stage. High above the Caribbean, the Super Hornets closed in. The Venezuelan F-16s appeared, armed, silent, and determined. Viper flew alongside the lead jet, Jester covered above. 50 feet apart, pilots locked eyes. 2 nations, 1 moment. The Venezuelan jets carried live missiles. Viper calmly radioed. Confirm 2 Venezuelan F-16s, armed, full air-to-air loadout. The CDC tensed. This was a serious escalation. No words from the Venezuelans, just a cold, steady stare. Viper signaled for radio contact. The response was silence. This was the dance, a high-stakes test of discipline and restraint. The American pilots had to show strength without provocation. Their mission, de-escalate, not dominate. Every instinct said to gain advantage, but the real strength was in patience. The world watched, unseen, as warriors chose professionalism over aggression. One mistake could mean catastrophe. The outcome hung in the balance. The next move would define the day. The test of discipline was underway. While pilots danced, a silent battle raged in the electronic spectrum. The USS Gerald R. Ford's advanced radar painted a perfect picture of the airspace. Electronic warfare teams subtly jammed the Venezuelan jets, feeding them false data. The F-16s saw confusion. Ghost targets, shifting locations. American pilots, linked by secure data, had a god's-eye view of the engagement. This technological edge allowed confidence and restraint. The Americans didn't need to guess. Their sensors told the story. The real power was in making conflict unnecessary. Technology was the unseen guardian, keeping the peace. The human element remained at the center, but the machines made calm possible. The standoff stretched on. Minutes felt like hours, each tick of the clock echoing through the tense silence. Every eye in the command center was fixed on the screens, every breath held in anticipation of what might come next. The Venezuelan jets crossed into the carrier's final defensive perimeter, their engines roaring as they sliced through the sky, closing the distance with alarming speed. The rules of engagement were clear, etched into every officer's mind, rehearsed for moments just like this. Hostile intent could mean firing. One wrong move, one misinterpreted signal, and the situation could spiral out of control. The CDC braced for the worst. Alarms flashed, and the crew snapped to their stations, ready for whatever might come. The decision to fire was now real, no longer a drill or a distant possibility, but a choice that could change everything in an instant. Data said, engage. But Captain Rostiva hesitated, weighing the consequences, her mind racing through every possible outcome. Viper's voice crackled through the radio. They're holding steady. No weapons lock. The F-16s were armed, their presence a clear threat, but not targeting the carrier. Their formation was tight, but their weapons remained cold. This was a test of will, not an attack. Both sides waited, nerves stretched to the breaking point. Captain Rostiva made her call. Her voice steady, her decision final. Not yet. Hold your fire. The order rippled through the crew, a collective sigh of relief barely audible. She chose restraint over aggression, understanding that patience could save lives where force might destroy them. Trusting her judgment and the professionalism of the pilots, she held the line, believing in discipline over impulse. The fate of hundreds hung on her decision, every soul aboard the carrier waiting for the outcome. A finger was on the trigger, the slightest pressure away from unleashing chaos, but discipline held it back. Training and trust prevailed over fear. The world teetered on the edge, newsrooms everywhere bracing for headlines that could change history. Sometimes, the bravest act is to wait, to resist the urge to act in haste. The next seconds would decide everything. Lives, reputations, and the fragile peace between nations. The test of leadership was at its peak. The crew waited, breathless, every heartbeat echoing the tension in the air. The moment of truth had arrived, a single instant that would be remembered for years to come. The world's fate balanced on a single call, and history would remember what happened next. After the order to hold fire, tension peaked. The jets flew in formation, dangerously close. The carrier's defenses tracked every move. Then, the lead Venezuelan pilot dipped his wing, a signal. Both jets banked away, turning back toward Venezuela. The test was over. They had pushed to the limit, then withdrew. Relief swept through the CDC as the red icons changed course. Captain Rostiva watched until the F-16s were miles away, then nodded. "Well done, everyone." Viper and Jester escorted the jets for 50 miles, then returned home. No celebration, just quiet respect for a job done right. The crisis ended without a shot fired. The greatest weapon was discipline. The world exhaled. Peace had prevailed. This time. In the days after, headlines faded to sober analysis. The Pentagon released footage showing calm professionalism. The incident became a case study in restraint and judgment. Analysts praised the U.S. crew's training, technology, and leadership. Captain Rostiva's decision not to fire was hailed as strategic courage. The world learned true strength is discipline, not firepower. The USS Gerald R. Ford's crew proved honor, courage, and commitment. They prevented war by refusing to start one. The crisis became a footnote, not a tragedy. In an age of technology, steady hands and calm minds still matter most. The quiet guardians stood the watch and kept the peace.